50% people have opted for a offline meeting. So on that note, the EC is working on for a place where we can have the hybrid meeting. People who are interested to come for an offline meeting can come down, and people who is interested in online meetings will have the setup as similar to this as in the offline meeting also running parallelly. So both online and offline will be together. EC is looking out for the place where we can have that because Mecon is still having some restrictions for us to go have the meetings over there. That's yes, Sandeep.
I think the restrictions are valid till now because we have recently seen a COVID surge in Mecon office, and we have already 10 to 15 people down with the COVID-19, and many people are under home isolation. So I don't think office will allow to have the meeting now.
Yes,
But
that's
later on, let us say what I was thinking, I wanted to propose the office in charge that we can meet on Sunday morning instead of Monday evening because we don't have office on Sunday. So it would be vacant. But I have not yet given this proposition. If we have an alternative location, then it is good. But I doubt also office in charge will accept this proposition. Maybe 1 month later we can give this.
okay. Till that time, we'll look out for another place where we can have offline meetings because many people are wanting the offline meetings. So we'll just look out for a place where we can meet offline. That's the update on offline and online meeting. The second update, what we have is the area contest will be held on 18th, sorry, 11th of this month on the Zoom platform at 11 a.m. As the area director, I welcome you all to the area contest. Please come and encourage our speakers, Supreet and Balaji for our international speech contest, and Balaji for Tall Tales, Balaji AS. So this is the update I have from the area part. So with that note, I give the charge to Sergeant at Arms. Over to you, Ujjwal.
I don't know. MC speaks about the theme.
All right. A very special evening to all the fellow Toastmasters and a warm welcome to all the guests present here. Just a minute, let me share my screen. Are everyone able to view my screen? Are everyone able to view my screen?
Yes, Ujjwal.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible and the screen is
Okay,
visible.
right. Yeah. The book named Building the Agile Business. Okay, sir. Yeah. The book named Building the Agile Business by Neil Perkin is structured around three key elements that we believe critical for digital transformation and organizational agility: fast, focused, and flexible. Represented as a formula, these components are counterbalanced by corporate, cultural, and system inertia. Firstly, coming to fast, this we define as a heightened pace and progression through continuous experimentation, a culture that supports processes such as agile, lean, and design thinking, overcomes needless risk aversion, and enables exhaustive customer-centric innovation through the rapid orientation, validation, and commercialization of ideas. Coming to focused, this is it about understanding what it truly means to be a customer-centric business, and then building organizational momentum through an enabling execution. dogs in providing direction and removing unnecessary.
Can't you?
You're on mute, Ujjwal.
Yeah, where I was till where were you able to hear me?
Actually, your audio was breaking it. We couldn't hear you clearly.
You were concentrating on focused issue.
Okay, yeah. Let me start from here. Coming to focused, this is it about understanding what it truly means to be a customer-centric business, and then building organizational momentum through an enabling, agile, and adaptive strategy with strong links to execution. We talk not only about the role of a clear vision and purpose in providing direction and removing unnecessary decision drag, but also about why a curious, outwardly looking perspective is key to maintaining the momentum. We need to challenge the thinking that seeks to apply old thinking to new and transformational technologies. We need to be data informed and not just data driven. Lastly, coming to flexible, if digital transformation is 10% technology and 90% people, despite many seeing it as the other way around, we need to stop treating employee experience as the poor relation. The imperative becomes to create the culture, environment, and structures to move fast, to structure for continuous innovation, to bring heightened fluidity to resourcing, to empower small multidisciplinary teams to generate transformational ideas, to enable greater agility in decision making and governance, to support a productive, collaborative culture characterized by autonomy, mastery, and purpose. Each of these elements is critical since they are mutually enhancing but cannot work without the others. With any transformation program, it is essential that we take a holistic approach to change. That's why the author says that he wrote the book to provide the how of digital transformation and not just the why. So, my dear Toastmasters, stay focused on the goal and flexible in the journey of life. Just a minute, let me stop my screen sharing. Now, here is a special person with us who is fast and furious in driving a car, very much focused in his reaching his goal, and extremely flexible in managing time. Yesterday, when I asked this person about his take on the theme, he beautifully brought it down, saying, in life, you need to be fast to achieve things. Unless you don't have focus, you cannot achieve. Unless you don't have focus on things, you cannot achieve it. And being fast and focused, and if you cannot adapt to things, you might lose. So you need to be flexible. An engineering student with computer science as his background from City Engineering College, a Puri Sagu lover and a passionate photographer, and he aims to become a wildlife photographer. He is also a Triple Crown winner who has served as a past secretary, VPPR, VPM, VPE, and the current president in Mekon Communication Club. He is also the area director of C3. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together and welcome our young and energetic president, Toastmaster Udang.
Thank you, Joel, for that lovely and superb introduction. Before I start, can I request the Secretary, Toastmaster Shashikant, to read out the minutes of meeting number 1103?
Hi, good evening all. Minutes of meeting 1103 held on 29/3/2021. Theme was Attitude is Everything. Business session started at 6:22 p.m. and was chaired by President Toastmaster Udang. Following points were discussed. VP announced the education session next week, along with the roles open for the meeting. Reminder about the membership renewal. The regular meeting started at 6:30 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Richard started the meeting with an introduction about the theme and handed over charge to President Toastmaster Udanka. Toastmaster Udanka opened the meeting, welcomed the guests, and spoke on the theme. Introduced the Master of Ceremony for the day, Toastmaster Indrani. Master of Ceremony Toastmaster Indrani spoke on the theme and introduced the role taker, timer Toastmaster Udanka, our counter DTM AK Pravakara, grammarian Toastmaster Arundhati, PP evaluator Toastmaster Rishabh. The prepared speech session had following speeches. One from DTM Subramanya, level 4, project 2, and evaluated by Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. The table topic session was conducted by Toastmaster Nakul. The general evaluation session was conducted by Toastmaster Gaurav. The winners of the week were Best Speaker DTM Subramaniam, Best Evaluator Toastmaster Ravi Kumar, Best Table Topic Speaker DTM Yemi Bhatt. The President concluded the meeting at 8:03 p.m. That's all, and back to you, President Toastmaster Udanka.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shashikant. Is there any changes or amendments needed to the minutes? If not, I take it consider and I open meeting number 1104. We have a couple of guests here in our meeting. I request the guests to unmute yourself, turn on your video, and just quickly introduce about yourself. So, starting off with Sharanya.
Hi, good evening to one and all present here. I am Sharanya, and this is my third week in terms of attending the meeting. I've been having a lot of fun, at the same time, a lot of learning. As I said earlier, I've been working as an assistant professor in Christ Academy, and looking forward to attend more of the meetings and join the club eventually. Thank you.
Thank you, Mom. Hoping to see you as a member as soon as possible. Next, we have Rajesh M.
Hello everyone, good evening. This is Rajesh from Jal Shakti Toastmasters Club from District 92. I just saw the update today's meeting in one of the forum. I just joined the call and learned from you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rajesh. And we have Dr. Mohan.
Hello.
Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Hello, I am Dr. Mohan Kumar, physician. This is the first meeting I am attending. I want to become a member. In future, I want to attend your meetings. Thank you.
Sure, sir. Hope you enjoy the meeting, and VPM will get in touch with you shortly post meeting.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, sir. 2 days back, when VP Education texted me the theme, fast, focused, and flexible, I was wondering, yes, many people have seen in those having those attitudes. Is there anything which is not, apart from human, is anything that has the same motto or something like that? I was just thinking for some time. Then I realized Google works on the same policy, fast, focused, and flexible. You guys must be wondering, how does it work? Let me take an example now. I go to Google and type Toastmaster clubs in Baswangudi. How much time does it take for me to reply? Less than a second. Less than a second, it gives me all the data, what all is required. That shows it is fast. Next, coming to focused, it just focus on the clubs which are in Baswangudi. It does not show only Mekon or BMS clubs or Republic of Toastmasters. It shows all in place, saying these are the clubs in Baswangudi, which shows the focused part of that. Even it shows the flexible. It does not only show the clubs in Baswangudi, it shows the clubs next around the Baswangudi also. For example, going a bit more distance for JP Nagar, Jayanagar, it shows all the clubs over there also. So this is where it acts as a flexible part. So then I realized, as a man or as a human being, to achieve success, These are the three main mottos what we need to have. Fast, because we are living in a very competitive world. If we just leave that moment for a second, or we just, when we get an offer, we just have it, if we give a second thought of doing it, or just think about it for some 1 or 2 minutes, next, within that gap, people would have grabbed that opportunity. In this competitive world, if we are not fast, it will definitely, we cannot achieve our success in our desired time and our desired places. Definitely we will achieve our success in one or the other way, but as we desired, we could not. So we have to be fast in this competitive world. Next, coming to the focused part, saying once we grab that opportunity, if we don't get focused, we will definitely lose on that, right? Saying you get an opportunity immediately, and if you're not focused to that, what's the point of having the hard work done and getting it on time? Next, flexible. So these flexible thing is really mandatory after I think. For example, I set my goals and I just focus and I'm fastly moving towards it. And I get some obstacles in between. I need to be changing my path, right? If not, I cannot achieve my dreams. That's where we have to be flexible. Let me take my own example now to make you guys understand. Just couple of months back, I was just sitting at home, simply mostly a year back, and just relaxing as a normal Toastmaster. Then, I got an opportunity for being an area director. I quickly, I quickly took up the role, taking for being the area director. That was my first move because I did not want to lose because it was a newly formed district and a newly formed area. I had a couple of opportunities to showcase myself and showcase my ability there as a fresh new leader. I immediately grabbed it without giving a second thought. Next, I was focused. As soon as I got, as soon as I got the role, I just made my mind that I should work hard towards it. And next, I was flexible too because after completing the area director role, I was aiming for my DTM project. And for DTM project, somewhere I had read that we have to even complete the club officers, also all at least 5 club officers role. So I was even flexible enough because my aim was to complete DTM in this year. And if I was not flexible that time, making me pushing myself to be the VPE and the area directors, I could have not achieved my DTM on the time what I would had planned initially. I would have definitely achieved it, but on the later date. So in life, these three things, fast, focus, and flexible, are really important for a man to achieve his goals. To talk about more about this theme, we have a special person today who is focused in Toastmasters, who is flexible enough to take up any role when we asked for. He has a huge smile on his face. He has done his post graduation in business management at Bhartiya Vidya Bhavan. Please put your hands in ever energetic Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. Over to you, sir.
Thank you, President, for that wonderful introduction. And the way you are incorporating fast, flexible, and focused in your speech is making my job simple. And the theme is almost taken to the doors of our members. It's wonderful. Thank you so much. Now, as we all know, ladies and gentlemen, in any small or big project, 3 vital things are involved: men, material, and money. Now, if there is excess of men, the cost of the project goes up. If there is less number of men, again, the project gets delayed. Material, if you don't have materials at the right time, at the right place, then the project can get delayed or the cost of the project can go high. And likewise, money, after men and material, money, needless to mention, if there is a shortage of money, again, the project gets delayed and therefore the cost goes high. And the money is something which needs to be there at that time, which means men, material, money needs attention. And for the project to be agile, it is in the modern management, it is understood that 3 F's, fast, focused, and flexible. This approach will help a project to be completed in a deadline, whether it is IT industry, whether it is construction industry, or be it whatever it is. So the delivery of the project, for a quick thing, you need these 3 essential ingredients to make this a success. Now, let me just quickly get into this fast, focused, and flexible. Fast in identifying risks early in the project cycle to minimize the impact of cost. Fast in responding to change, and fast in embracing new technology. Fellow Toastmasters, coming to focused, this is the foundation of any project delivery. If distraction or unfocused, not only drain the resources, but would also increase the cost. A strong leadership ensures individuals are highly motivated and focused. Focused will help in effective communication, and regular checks and balances is a must to maintain focus. And coming to flexible, someone wisely said that change is the only constant. Agility is the ability to respond to the change. Successful deliveries, completion of projects require flexibility and drive to constantly rethink, investigate, reinvent, and react. The recent pandemic is a classic example where people and team embraced flexible mindset during the challenging times. Fellow Toastmasters, the 3 F's are key in not only in delivering complex projects, but also importantly, when inculcated as a lifestyle, can help each one of us be a better version of ourselves. Ladies and gentlemen, our founder, Ralph C. Smedley, 97 years back, almost 100 years back, he was fast, he was focused, and he was flexible. And as our Sergeant at Arms was saying that there is an inertia, Ralph C. Smedley, our founder, had no inertia at all. He started a club, a non-profit organization, in the year 1924 at YMCA Santa Ana, California. The purpose of the club was to help its members improve their communication, public speaking, and leadership qualities. The club, which started as a single club with minimum members, today it boasts of more than 3,65,000 members in 143 countries through its over 16,600 member clubs. Ladies and gentlemen, now I call upon role takers to help me to take this meeting forward and also introduce their roles. I now call upon our counter Toastmaster Vijay Upendra.
Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome, guests. Am I audible and visible?
Yes, sir, Mr. Vijay Upendra.
Thank you. The purpose of the counter is to note any overused words or filler sounds used as crutch by anyone who speaks during the meeting. Words may be inappropriate interjections such as and, well, but, so, and you know, sounds like I will give my report during evaluation. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra. You introduced yourself and also described about the role. May I now request timer Toastmaster Ujjwal?
Once again, a very happy evening, fellow Toastmasters. As time plays a very important role in each and everyone's life, it is our responsibility to stick into the time allotted for us. So as a timer, I'll be noting down the time taken by each speaker. In case of table topic session, I'll be showing the green card at 1 minute, yellow card at 1 minute 30 seconds, and the red card at 2 minutes. Then for the evaluation session, I'll be showing the green card at 2 minutes, yellow card at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and the red card at 3 minutes. Next, coming to the educational session, I'll be showing the green card at 25 minutes, yellow card at 28 minutes, and the red card at 30 minutes. I'll be giving my report at the end of the meeting. Thank you, and back to you, sir.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ujjwal. You explained the importance of the role, and you also elaborated on that. Thank you so much. May I now request Toastmaster Arundhati, our grammarian today. Toastmaster Arundhati Hurley. Toastmaster Sai Snehal, can you please?
Good evening, everyone. So do you want me to tell about grammarian, sir?
If you can alert her quickly, fine. Otherwise, you can. Yes, she has come. Fine.
Can you?
We can hear you, madam.
Essential for clear expression and proper comprehension of any subject. Idioms and phrases in a speech is definitely a good treat to the listener. In this direction, in today's, I'm going to know the and I also would like to encourage the speakers to use the and cheerful the chat box, and I encourage all the speakers to use it. It is possible.
Fellow Toastmasters, every time Toastmaster Arundhati, whatever the role she takes, she comes out very clearly and comfortably and confidently. But today, I think with some disturbances, let me quickly say that a grammarian will look for good usages and bad usages of words. And a grammarian also will insist that the word of the day, alacrity, is used by all the speakers. The word of the day, alacrity, meaning brisk and cheerful readiness. Now, can I request PP evaluator, Toastmaster Sai Snehal, to explain the role and elaborate on that?
Good evening, everyone. There are certain guidelines which all of us have to follow throughout the meeting so that the meeting goes on smoothly. The guidelines are as follows. Keep yourself muted at all times unless requested to speak. And if you wish to leave the meeting at any point of time, kindly wait till the speaker transition is going to happen, and also leave a message in the chat window so that we are aware of it. Also try to keep your video on throughout the meeting, which will help us get as close to the in-person meeting as much as possible. I'll give my report during the general evaluation when called upon. Thank you, and back to Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Ravi Kumar.
Thank you, PP evaluator Sai Snehal, for that wonderful elaboration and the importance of the role. I have nothing to add here. So thank you all the Toastmasters, and thank you role takers in particular. Now, Toastmasters, fellow Toastmasters, and for the benefit of today's guests, a typical Toastmasters meeting consists of 3 sessions. The first session is a prepared speech session, where the speakers get time to prepare for a speech on the subject of their choice as per the guidelines. With a good homework and preparation, we have heard fantastic speeches in our meetings. The second session is the table topic session, where the table topic speaker randomly chooses and gives the topic for which the chosen Toastmaster has to respond. A very interesting session, and quite often this session, if it is very well managed by the table topic master and the speakers respond well, this becomes a very interesting session. And moving on to the third session, it is a general evaluation session where the speeches and the proceedings of the meeting will be evaluated. This session is like a mirror which reflects a clear image of the proceedings of the meeting. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today, as you know, we have an educational session instead of prepared speech session. Today's session, the topic being targeting competencies through pathways. I repeat, targeting competencies through pathways. And today's educational session on the above topic will be done by a very modest person who could accomplish distinguished Toastmaster title within 3.5 years. He was the second member of District 92 to finish the whole path after Pathways was rolled out in the year 2018. He also finished second path, presentation mastery and effective coaching. This speaker of today was finalist of speech contest of District 92 Glitterity in the year 2016. He was divisional finalist for international speech contest, table topic contest, and evaluation contest. Had been a club member, mentor, VP education, member of LEAD 2018-19. The speaker is an HR professional, loves to do gardening, cycling, cook, and having cooked, he also enjoys eating. Ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands to welcome thunderously distinguished Toastmaster Ashish Varghese. Ashish Varghese is currently member of Smart City Toastmasters Club, Kochi. Over to you, Ashish.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. I thought you said I'm trying to be modest, but you made me so full of air right now that I can float away. Yeah, and what else he said is true, but yeah, it's good to hear some things which has been happened, which has been done through some hard work in this sort of esteemed panel. Thank you very much for having me as an education speaker for your club today. It's been 5 years for me that I've been part of Toastmasters. And in this 5 years, my life had turned, I would say, at least 360 days, if not more. And in this 5 years, what has made the biggest difference is the education program that has helped to show me the way and put me in the right path when it was not there. For the good 25 years of my life, I had been a big time introvert person. Introvert in such a way that someone will put a gun on my head and say, speak something or you will die. At that moment, I'll prefer to die than speaking. But now, unfortunately, fortunately, my club members say they find hard way to keep me shut. So this is the way the Toastmaster works for all of us. How do we approach it? How do we make things out of it? Is different for everyone, but we do find a path one way or the other. It's up to us to find a path. And take my word, we all can find a path. We can all find a way to do things the right way. I was reading through some messages in Facebook of last 1 year or something, for last 1 year or so. And one of the biggest things that I've been hearing is Pathways is good, Pathways is bad. And this is a constant struggle going on between many people. Some legacy people who have been part of the old education system with their where they had competent communicators and advanced manuals. And even some of the new members who joined just a month or a year or two before our competent communicator and other legacy manuals got disconnected. A lot of hue and cry about why Pathways is not good, Pathways is not that, this and everything has been happening. So here I am to share my 2 cents in next half an hour to help you understand from what my perspective of Pathways is, how did it benefit me my mentees, my club members, and people who have been associated with me. And how do I approach it? How do I tell my mentees to approach it while they select any pathways related to manual or any pathways related electives, or most importantly, the projects they select. So let me share a small presentation screen, which will help us to make the life a little more easier for all of us. So as I mentioned, my journey in Toastmasters has begun just 5 years back, and I see a couple of members, including Prabhakar sir and so many, who are veterans in this field, and some who I personally look forward and look up to. So I know that even though we have esteemed panels, that is the beauty of Toastmasters. We are welcome to share each and every learning that we have, irrespective of whatever experience or higher or senior you are in Toastmasters. Everyone's word is given value, and that's what we are here to, and that's what we will be doing today. As I mentioned, my journey in Toastmasters has been 5 years, and I started my journey with a club in Bangalore called as Bangalore Toastmasters. That's the second oldest club in India itself. And my mentor, the founder president of that club, Toastmaster Robinson D'Souza, was the one who was very much instrumental in making me come out of my shell. That person actually found out that I have this very bad barricade of introvertness, and most importantly, I used to stutter a lot. So mixing of both of this fear and shame had actually made me a silent person. And that's when he found a way through Toastmasters to make me come out of my shell. At that time, we had Competent Communicator Manual, but somehow from the Competent Communicator Advanced Manual, what we are following today in Pathways is quite similar. It's just the approach, how do we do it, is gone a little different. We still do prepared speeches. We still do table topics. We do have wonderful evaluations. We have the manuals, everything available, and all the basic competencies to everything is still the same. It is how do we approach to it, make the difference is the only thing. So let's see the things about what has become different. At the onset, let us understand basically what are the competencies, what does it mean? In a nutshell, competencies are the combinations of observable and measurable knowledge, skills, abilities, personal attributes that contributes to the enhanced employee's performance and ultimately result in an organizational success. This is a perspective that I am giving because I'm an HR professional and I'm giving it from an HR person. And if you take that employee performance and the organizational success from these two words from this definition, the definition is quite same for an individual, because we need to have this observation and measurable skills which are there in our own personal lives also, in our professional lives, and wherever we go. So we cannot have some competencies which are representing in your professional life and something else you are representing in your personal life. You cannot be two sides of a coin. You have to be one person, and these competencies is something you will have to practice day in, day out, personally and professionally. So Toastmasters speaks basically about 5 competencies, and these 5 competencies that we are focusing on in our Toastmasters is this. Number 1, the public speaking. Number 2, interpersonal communication. Number 3, the strategic leadership. Number 4, the management. And number 5, confidence. If you search something about this competencies, you will find more than 39 to 50 competencies which are very readily used across the spectrums of jobs, the vocation, or the field everyone are working in. But Toastmasters found out that these are the 5 things that are most important for any human person to work on, build on. And if they are competent enough in these 5 things, everything else can be built on the basis of this. So let's understand briefly what are these 5 competencies. First of all, the public speaking is the most important public competency why we all are here. Even though the Toastmaster motto say, where the Toastmaster, where the leaders are made, to be a leader, to do anything, we need to learn how to speak in public. So building members' confidence in delivering both a prepared and impromptu speeches in Toastmasters environment, in personal or professional life, is what is the one of the most important competency for everything. As I mentioned, that first time, it was 5 years back when I joined Toastmaster, I couldn't speak. And many people say that they come and give stable topics and they cannot utter a word. I came and said something and went away. It didn't make a sense of anything. But the thing was that at that time, I was done living the life of where I was silent because I had too many thoughts in my mind. I wanted to express myself. And most importantly, I wanted to get rid of my stuttering. Because of being a stutterer for a good part of my life, I suffered a good lot professionally and personally also. And when my mentor encouraged me to learn this art of public speaking, even though I felt it was shameful of me to open my mouth and stutter in front of public and do a public speaking, I took a chance. And that's the beauty of Toastmasters. I would say that the least judgmental group in the world, if you can find. I will not say 100% not non-judgmental. I would say the least judgmental and 100% the most supportive and cooperative bunch of people you can find in the world. So that is what this competency is going to be. The most important of all, learning to speak in public. And with the help of people who are there to help you every moment with applause, with guidance and feedback. This competency is put at the top of all the things Toastmaster put in. After learning to do public speaking, the next important competencies that here we focus on is interpersonal skill. It is not just important how do we speak to a group or just, but how do we contribute to one another. Sometimes it is easier to speak to a group because we don't need to focus on individual that time. But once it is important, once we start speaking to an individual, that's a game changer. That was another example for me because I personally was in a relationship before I joined Toastmaster. And being an introvert, I would keep a lot of things in my mind. I will not speak it out. And Toastmasters changed the game for me again here also, because my relationships, everything changed. Now I was giving feedbacks in my relationship. I was speaking out my heart out, what was good, what is bad, but in a right way, in the right words. And not just in my relationships, but in my professional life. When my manager was asking some weird questions and asking for the very weird deadlines, my impromptu speaking training was helping me to find answers on the spot. Even though it was made up answers, I was able to deliver and save my life at that moment and build on that made up answers later on. So interpersonal communication, another most important thing that Toastmasters is focusing on as a competency. And soon after that, the third competency that Toastmaster is focusing on is called management. Before I come to strategic, the management is the one that they focus on. And that is one thing that I've heard from my manager and my leader, that everyone can become manager, but not everyone can become a leader. So that is one important thing that I've learned through my professional life. Because someone can manage you, but they cannot be a good leader who can inspire you to do things which are worth doing. So how do you become that different person is something you learn here. As we say in Toastmaster, Toastmaster is a laboratory where you can perform n number of experiments, n number of hypotheses, run testings, and learn different things, even when you fail. And there are people who will help you understand these things better. So you make use of this laboratory, and that's what the best way. As our president was mentioning, he took up the roles of area director, he took up the role of president, vice VP education. Where else you will get all these opportunities where you can manage, you can manage a club, you can manage the finance of the club. Most importantly, you can manage the other members' personal growth in education. So from being a treasurer to sergeant-at-arms and everything, all PR activities that you do, membership building, VP education to the president, every role that you do, you're doing some or the other management. Post that, you're taking up roles in district and you're doing roles during district conference, contests, being an MC and everything. There are a lot of management, personal management, and everything comes here through the free experiments that we do here in Toastmasters. So management, another important competency. Strategic leadership, that's the fourth competency that we are focusing here in Toastmasters. And what I can say about strategic leadership is to have that idea and vision, what a big picture can give us, or in a small bird, an eagle's eye of what big picture should be. And Toastmasters has helped me personally to understand the strategic leadership, because I am the VP Education of my club, and I saw how my club was suffering for the last few years. So I, along with my other committee members, made up the plan of how do we want to revive our club, and we built that plan. And thankfully, because of the leadership, not just by me, but my whole collective team of executive members, we were able to achieve our 9 DC points by the month of November last year. We had 6 path breakers lined up within the first 6 months. And most importantly, the enthusiasm of people was building up. We were able to add 10 new members. So how does it happen? It is only if you see the big picture. You can, once in a while, you can see what is there for the near future. But the big picture is when your goals and everything gets structured. So that is where the 4th competency, strategic leadership, comes into play. And the 5th and the final thing, which culminates of all these 4 things together, the confidence. At the end of the day, if you don't know how to do public speaking, you don't know how to do interpersonal skill, you don't know strategic leadership, and even do the management, but you have the confidence to stand up and just say a word or two in that 2 minutes of speech of table topics, that confidence will take you leaps and bounds than anything else can happen in your world. I personally have experienced this in my life. I have experienced this in other members of my club, both Bangalore Toastmasters and here in Smart City. People who couldn't have this, but they build up the confidence in their due course of time by attempting, and they became better. And one of the biggest example is one of my mentee who was petrified of doing anything in public speaking. She is representing our area in the division contest in IC this term. So things happen. Confidence is not about not having fear. It is about how do you learn to live with that fear and make that fear the ally that you can have. So one of the things that we are discussing today is how do we align these 5 competencies with the different paths that is available to us. As I hope all of you know that there are 11 paths that we as a Toastmasters are provided. That includes from dynamic leadership, effective coaching, engaging humor, innovative planning, leadership development, motivational strategies, persuasive planning, presentation mastery, strategic relationship, team collaboration, and visionary communication. Humorously engaging humor, that was the recently added 11th path. But before that, when Toastmasters rolled out pathways, we had 10, and they are planning to add some more. How do we approach this path is the most important thing. What is it that you personally want to learn? What is it that you are here to learn in the short term and the long term goal? Personally, for me, in my experience and members around me, if a new member is joining, we like to understand what is there, what is that the word is wrong, but I would like to say the word handicap in public speaking. There are some people who are really well versed in public speaking, but they want stage time. So for them, a little bit of advanced training is what is required. But then there are some, I would say the most of the people who want to start from scratch and the basic level. So that is how we need to understand. So when we joined for the new path, we have given an assessment, and based on assessment, a Toastmasters itself is going to suggest us what is there. But again, we are not required to go that way. So here, so if you want to understand which is the best thing that you would like to do, why don't we align the competencies to this path? As we can see here in this presentation, all the 11 paths, there are numbers assigned to it. So what does this number means to each and every path? On to the left-hand side, if you can see, there are each competencies from public speaking to the confidence is given 1 to 5 numbering. And the same numbering is been assigned here to the different 11 paths. So this gives a nutshell of what each path is going to offer you in bigger picture. So if you take a dynamic leadership path, so there you will learn how to build a strategic leadership and conflict resolution skill. That is a basic thing of a dynamic leadership. But while doing that, You will be learning how to do public speaking, interpersonal skills, strategic leadership, and confidence is the plus thing. This is the competency that is going to be added up. So if you take engaging humor as a path, where you will learn how to build a public speeches and speaking skills related to humor, you will be learning how to do being a public speaker and have that in confidence. Because being a humorous speaker is the toughest thing, I would say, to be able to do in the world. So we need how to say it, and we need to have the confidence while we're saying it. Same goes with presentation mastery. Presentation mastery is one project that I suggest to all the new members to start their journey with. Because presentation mastery has that basic building block of what we have been learning in from the prehistoric times, from the legacy system itself. It teaches you how to come and give an icebreaker, proper icebreaker. Then it teaches you how to build up a proper opening body and conclusion of a speech. How do you receive a feedback? And then how do we build on to the other subsequent skills like the body language, voice modulation, other aspects that are supposed to be there in this. So any new member who is joining, irrespective of whichever level they are in, we always suggest them to start. In our club, personally, we suggest them to start with presentation mastery, because that's the basic thing from where the rest of the skills can be attained. So that is what we are learning out here at this moment. So as we understand, there are 5 different levels of each pathways which is there, and each level has different objective. Level 1, which is the mastering of fundamentals. So there you give the icebreaker, there you're gonna give the first speech with opening body conclusion, repeated applying the feedbacks, and finally do a project where you're gonna have something research, where you do research and presenting. Then you go to the next level, that is learning your style. So each path speaks of different things. So here, each and every person has to understand their own style. We can idealize some speakers who are really well spoken. Their oratorical skills are in next level. But at the end of the day, we cannot mimic them, because it's our own style which want to stand out. So finding our own style is important, and that's happened out here. Here we learn how to connect with the audience, understanding our own leadership style and communication style. How do we manage time? And starting here, we learn how to use our body language effectively. And most importantly, we also learn how to start doing Toastmasters mentoring from this level. At the level 3, we start to increase our knowledge on that particular path that we are selected from. So most in a nutshell, we're going to learn how to negotiate the best outcome, present a proposal, planning, implementing, persuasive speaking, how to successfully collaborate, develop communication plan. So now we are building up on what we learned through the second level. And at level 3 is where we start building the skills pertaining to the path that you have selected. In this path, you can learn how to manage change, manage projects successfully, and lead different situations, motivating others, communicating change. And most importantly, it's this place where we start having the electives. Some in level 3 also we start to have electives, but level 4, most of the projects are electives with one mandatory. And finally, in level 5, we start to demonstrate the expertise of what we have learned through that path. One of the most important things that I personally have learned in this path is when I've done an HPL project, that is High Performance Leadership Project. And High Performance Leadership Project is one project that takes considerable amount of time to prepare. If for those who has never done a high performance leadership project, let me give an understanding in a very brief. This project requires all of us to prepare a plan or initiate something in our own professional life, in personal life, in Toastmasters, or somewhere not even related to Toastmasters. Prepare a plan and implement it along with a committee. Just like you are organizing an event, you need to do that event. One of the best examples that I saw about this HPL project was recently done last year by one of my member from our club, currently our VP PR, Toastmaster Raki. She wanted to do a education session. She wanted to do a speech class session for the kids in the orphanage. But unfortunately, that sort of gavel speechcraft session couldn't happen because of the lockdown which took place. And soon after the lockdown took place, so she had to change her plans and use the system online. And that's when she found out the way to connect all the women in Toastmaster, especially women across the world, not just India, but all the 7 continents coming together, and 145 countries where we Toastmasters are represented in, coming together for a 3-day event, a special Women's in Toastmaster. So she initiated that plan and she built up a committee. She had people who were working along with her in different subcommittees. People came in and supported her. And this high performance leadership project actually took her 3 months to prepare and deliver. Any project out here is just 2 speeches. Initial planning speech and final is the submission speech. But between these 2 speeches, there are considerable amount of time. And this is one of the things that we learn a lot from. So, and if most of you must be knowing that all of the 5 levels are open to everyone at the start of any craft. So if you want to do a project from level 5 first, or level 1 first, or level 3 first, or any level you want to mix and match, you can do it in your own whims and way. So plan your projects accordingly. When you select a new path, see what is it that you're going to do at the high level. And if there's some considerable amount of work is to be put in, start doing it from the start, very start of the path itself. So that by the time you are there to submit your path, you are ready to fill it. So in each level, I mentioned that there are different electives which are there. So level 3, one of my favorite is to connect with storytelling. And then how do we deliver social speeches, dinner party speeches, and how do we inspire an audience? So these are all these different speeches which are actually related to the competencies that we have been speaking on, from the management to building confidence and everything that has come. In level 4, again, one of my favorite is creating a podcast. A person, I never thought I can build a podcast, but started doing this project in my second speech, as my third manual that I did, effective coaching. I actually created a podcast related to HR, workspace. So this sort of things we can experiment, because that leads to a lot of difference other than what we are doing regularly in our life. And as I mentioned in level 5, high performance leadership, ethical leadership, lesson learned, moderating and panel discussion, prepare to speak professionally. All these are bigger long-term projects. It takes time to prepare, and how do we come to it is a different story. So as I mentioned that we are here to learn different aspects of the time, different aspects of things that comes together in different ways. But how do we learn it is up to us. How do we mix and match different things is up to us. Normally in HR parlance, there is a difference in skills and competencies. Skills are much more technical in learn and what is we use in our day-to-day professional life to do things properly. But again, competencies are the behavioral patterns that builds on these skills, which helps us to become better and helps us to be successful in that aspect. So it is quite important for us to understand this difference and build on everything that has happened out here. At this moment, I will open up the session for a bit of questions. If anyone has anything or want to do a little more interactive and talk to us, let's do that for a moment.
Mr. Varghese?
Yes, please.
Vijay Upendra here.
Hi, Vijay.
To improve the power of belief, there are 2 things. One is manifested potential and non-manifested potential. Unmanifested potential. So how will you work in these 2 areas? Because power of belief plays a vital role to develop the confidence.
So I would not understand how to say about manifested and manifested, but personally, what I can say is manifested. I believe what he was trying to say is that what we are, which we have in us right now, isn't it right? The skills and the potential that we have possessing right now. So that is something I would feel personally, that is, we are currently in our comfort zone. But how do we step out of that is with the help of the mentors that we have. It's based on the opportunities that we get. And most importantly, the least judgmental people around us who can help us to overcome this, to build a confidence. I can tell you a small story about my thing, because I never thought I can be a humorous speaker. And the first time I attempted a humorous speaker, that was by chance. That was something I know I wanted to do, be a humorous speaker, but I never thought I will do this in my life. Unfortunately, during the club contest time, I had registered for another contest and my partner fell ill on that day. And because of that, I couldn't do with that speech. And I had to continue. My VP Education asked me to do some other contest, and humorous speech was the other contest which was happening on the same day. So what will I do? Let me add story, building some story on that is, that was the Onam Day celebration in my college, and I was wearing a kurta and a dhoti. And I decided to tell a story of my life and how marriage proposals are happening in my life, and which is creating trouble for me. So I thought of that idea and went just to give a humorous speech. Okay. 2 minutes into my humorous speech, I found out that my dhoti is actually slipping. So unmanifested thing starts to happen. So in that, all these things, facing that thing head on helped me to develop my confidence. And for next 5 minutes, I spoke something or the another just to manage my dhoti with another hand, mic on one hand. Fortunately, people started laughing and they felt happy. And I won that contest. It's a different thing that I didn't win in my area contest because I didn't wear my dhoti to area contest. I wore a kurta and pajama. I shouldn't have done that. So that's what my personal thing is, facing the things head on. I have lived a very calm, timid life for 25 good years without being in my comfort zone. When I started facing things head on, things become different, because confidence is not a tough thing. It is just make a step, things will happen and confidence will build. Play around with the fear that things are not going to happen well. Play around with it, because fear is the ally that can make you the most successful. Don't ever try to get rid of your fear, because if you have fear, you are alive, and when you are alive, things will happen. Face things head on. That's the only thing that I can tell to find the unmanifested options.
Thank you, Mr. Rajesh.
Hi, Ashish, I have a question. You said we can do project anytime from any level. So far, we complete level 1, then go to level 2, level 3, like that. So can a new person, the one who joined, after giving icebreaker speech, can he take a project from level 4 and level 5?
That's what it is. When the Toastmasters pathways was rolled out, initially they had lock each and every level. Only after finishing one level and getting approval, that's when we would allowed to move to next level. But as I mentioned, there are some projects like HPL, DTM projects, and other planning projects which requires considerable amount of time. So once you start a path, you need to start planning that level 5, level 4 project also. So irrespective of whether the member is new or old, if they are confident enough, they can do any level of project. They can do one project from level 5, then do a project from level 3, level 2, level 1, come to level 1, then go back to level 5. Or they start planning to do the level 5 project so that prepare for it and do it at the later stage. But only catch is that you cannot submit them in any random order. So if you have to submit the level, you have to do the chronologically. First, submit the level 1 completion first, then to the level 2, level 3. But you can prepare and keep your pre-speeches ready, everything repertoire ready. And in time, when everything, the level-wise chronology is achieved, you can continue. So, but here another catch happens is how good is your mentor support system? Because if a person's a very new person who doesn't know how to do a basic public speaking, writing a speech, if they start to jump to the level 5 high performance projects, they will get confused like anything. So having the understanding of the with a member who has a little bit of senior understanding of how things work around will make things much more easier. So mentor system will help even a new member to navigate between level 5, level 1. Doesn't make sense. But I personally would suggest new members start step by step, at least for one path, then make an experiment from next path.
Okay, for the evaluation, thank you so much for these inputs. For the evaluation, can the lower level completed person can evaluate the higher level completed projects?
Okay, so there's no lower level or higher level. It's a basic understanding of what the public speeches are about. This is what is required. And even in Toastmasters, it's said that we need to be an evaluator, we need to have finished at least level 1 and level 2. Why level 1 and level 2? Because by the time you finish level 1 and level 2, you have the understanding of basics of public speaking. How do you write a speech, the opening, body, and conclusion? How do you give and take effective feedback? And then how do you, most importantly, how do you use the basics of body language, voice modulation? These are the basic skills that if any person knows that, anyone can become a competent communicator. So these basic skills are learned in first level 1 and level 2. And if anyone has completed level 1, level 2, they can evaluate level 1 to level 5, a DTM project, a panel discussion, anything in the world they can do. But only suggestion is at least let them finish level 1 and level 2 and have that basic understanding.
Okay, thank you. But we have in our level 1, that is one project is there for evaluation. So basically, we recommend evaluating someone's speech. That will be great. The person has completed level 2 speeches, level 1, level 2. But we have one project in level 1. We have to complete evaluation of one speech.
I think the correction is that it's not evaluation of level other person project. You have to give a speech, get it evaluated, and apply the feedback of that speech, and then deliver it again.
Okay.
Honestly, I have not seen this sort of level 1 related project, because how do we take a feedback is also quite an important thing. Because sometimes we could take it on our ego, on our heart, that how can someone say that something that I did is wrong. So letting go of that ego, letting go of that feeling, that hard-held feeling, is the lesson that we learn when we start taking feedbacks and applying it onto us. And there's nothing hard and fast that if somebody gives a feedback, we need to take it. If we feel in a good sense, definitely take it. Otherwise, let it go. Listen from one ear, throw it out. Don't keep anything to heart and hurt it.
Okay, thanks for this.
I think my session worked like a head and shoulder ad. It was all clean and clear for everyone. So not many questions are coming up. So thank you very much for giving me this time to have a talk with you all. Even though I was the one who spoke the most, but I could see you all enthusiastically at least nodding your head. Thank you, at least out of courtesy, to make me feel good. Yes, people are listening. So thank you very much for making me feel good on this Monday evening. And thank you for having me here. Anything and every time when we are here to learn. And I learned a lot just by giving this speech in itself. So hopefully my 2 cents that I shared made some impact on your lives also. Otherwise, let's see each other during some other contests, some other meetings. And for now, thank you very much.
Fellow Toastmasters, Mekon Toastmaster members, please give a big thunderous applause to Ashish Verghese, please. A big round of applause. It should hear this noise should go to his Kerala. Cochin it should reach.
Oh, my mom is saying that it's thundering outside and I cannot see any lightning. So I think it's Mekon Club.
DTM Verghese, it was an excellent session, both providing knowledge and it was also motivational. After hearing you, other members would pinch themselves. They have spent more than 6 years, 7 years, 5 years, but have not accomplished. They have accomplished less. So your accomplishment is really commendable. Session was both deep and with substance. Further, you demolished doubts of pathways and the session that you took, and instead you triggered interest in the members, fellow members. Most importantly, that I reassure you, though we are front bench class students, if the teacher is going to target a question, we used to quickly nod as if we have understood the subject. But here we have not done like that. We have understood. And as you said, Toastmasters is a place where we encourage a lot each other. So thanks again. And we thoroughly enjoyed. And once again, thanks and gratitude from my side and from Mekon.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. So
Thank you.
I will be leaving this because leaving the session now because I need to step out to another thing. So thank you very much for having me. Any doubts, any help required, I personally might reach out to you guys also, and you can always free to reach out to us also. So visit us at Smart City sometime.
Great, great. Mr. DTM Ashish, only thing that I can say is the entire session you can listen tomorrow and watch at leisure, and the evaluation session can be heard for your yes.
Sure.
And I request Sai Snehal to provide this.
Sure.
Thank you. Sai Snehal is showing the thumbs up. Thank you. Thank you very much. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, after this wonderful learning session that we had, now we will ease ourselves with little comforts with the table topic session. Ladies and gentlemen, today's table topic master is the one who had a Toastmaster journey, and he has completed traditional manuals, competent communication, advanced communication, and competent leadership, advanced leadership bronze. On professional front, he has completed BTech in metallurgicals and material engineering. And interestingly, presently he is a senior manager at Mekon. And ladies and gentlemen, importantly, he has had long serving executive committee member since 2011 in capacity as associate sergeant at arms, and also presently treasurer, earlier as associate treasurer. Please give a big round of applause and welcome Toastmaster Sandeep.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Ravi Kumar, for wonderful introduction. We'll start the table topic session. I think there are not much of guests, so the quick guide for this table topic session is when given the topic, you have to speak impromptu for within a time limit of 1 to 2 minutes. So we'll start the table topics, and for the guests, the topics I will first give to the club members so that you can observe, and when asked upon, you can reply to any topics. So shall we start? I think all of you are waiting with alacrity today's word of the word meeting, and I hope everything is visible, and we'll start the first topic. Are you ready? So this is the first topic. What would be your financial advice to the younger generation at the beginning of their career? I'll repeat, what would be your financial advice to the younger generation at the beginning of their career? This goes to DTM AK Prabhakara.
Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Mr. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. In fact, when I was young, I was getting salary in Mekon. When I joined in the sale and later on in Mekon, I started at 750 rupees a month. Those days it was as a GE, when I selected management trainee, I was posted to Bokhara steel plant, and I used to be left with very little money at the end of the month. And then a couple of months later, they changed the salary and improved it to 1,000 rupees per month. So as it progressed, the days progressed, I used to get a lot more, it increased. But still, it was very difficult to meet the monthly expenses. The one such thing, and I was not able to save. One of my friends, who was also in the same situation, he gave me a important advice which has stayed with me for life. That is, irrespective of the pressures of the expenses that one faces on a monthly basis or a weekly basis, somehow you should save some money and put in a recurring deposit in the bank. In those days, that was the way it was. And he said, somehow save it. And somewhere at the end of the year, you will be left with some money. And that is the one that I kept doing. And one other thing I kept doing is that avoid unnecessary expenses. And this has stood by me for lifetime. One is cut on the expenses, unnecessary expenses. Never ever spend on that you don't need. And other is saving on a regular basis. Come what may, you have to save something. And overall, you at the end of perhaps your career, you will be left with money to make you feel secure and safe for rest of your life. And that's what this hint has helped me. Even to this day, I would say to the younger persons that follow some technique of saving. And nowadays, there is an option of investing. In fact, one of the technology investment that I made was perhaps when Infosys started. And later on, one of the earlier ones was Hero Honda. Hero Honda, I instinctively took that share for one simple reason, that it was one of the earliest 4-stroke engine vehicles. So even today, I'm enamored by the technology, and if you spend it in the right direction there, it will increase. Hero Honda was allotted as a debenture, and today it's 3,000 rupees. And the other person who has mastered that is that MU Bhatt himself. So that's another story. But the thing today, options are more, and today mutual funds are available. And if you make that habit of investing, the savings will be there. And in the larger context, you can move with the economy, and you can feel perhaps a little bit rich and feel comfortable. At the end of the life, you should feel that you have done the right investment, not only with the family, but yourself for the future also. That's all that kind of advice I can give financially. And keep it simple and straight. Don't make it complicated. Do the trading of shares, and at the end of it, feel that you have lost the money. Be careful, and that's one you will be able to save and hold on to your investment very well. Over to Table Topic Master.
Thank you, sir. So it is the formula of recurring deposits and cutting down the unnecessary expenditures for the Mr. DTM A.K. Prabhakara. We'll move on to the next topic. What is your memorable incident about a stranger you met at any point of your life? What is your memorable incident about a stranger you met at any point of your life? This goes to Toastmasters Pruti.
Am I audible and visible? Yeah. Thank you, Table Topic Master. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guest. What is the memorable incident about a stranger you met at any point of your life? Okay. 3 years back, I was free for about 2-3 months, and I wanted to try one of these ashrams. So I ended up going to the Art of Living for a happiness course or something like that for 3 days. I went alone. So everybody I met there was so new, and they were all at least 10 to 15 years older to me. I hardly had anybody who was of my age. I met this one person who 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 was not even in my batch, but just met him for lunch. He was about 40 to he was in his 40s to 50s. He just his attitude, his way of thinking, his way of life intrigued me so much that I ended up spending the next 2 days with all the programs that he also was a part of. He spoke so much about traveling. He told me about simplicity. He spoke to me about what are the basic necessities of your life, and just now how like AK Prabhakara sir also threw light upon. He told me what we're actually overspending on, how our life should be, and his way of life really intrigued me and made me feel like I was actually spending so much more on unnecessary things. So I think he also threw so much light about traveling, trekking. Because of who I have started trekking way more in the last 4-5 years. I've done 2 Himalayan treks, which has really made a huge impact of my life. I never so after those 3 days, I never met him again. Neither did I contact him. So I think those 3 days, he really did make a huge difference in my life. Thank you, and back to you.
Thank you, Smruti, for a wonderful response. We'll move on to the next topic. If someone is saying that he or she is not scared of public speaking, either he is lying or is a Toastmaster. If someone is saying that he or she is not scared of public speaking, either he is lying or is a Toastmaster. So this goes to Toastmaster Ankita.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep, for that topic. I think you've rightly picked me to answer the question, considering I'm the VP membership of the club right now. Well, I would like to say that one never really overcomes the fear of speaking in front of a crowd. And that fear is somewhat good because it means that you care. It means that you actually care about what content you're presenting, and you actually care about how you present it. And that fear, that element of nervousness, it drives you to give the best speech and to put your best foot forward. But what Toastmasters does is, or what any public speaking platform for that matter will do is, it'll help you be confident that irrespective of your fear, you're confident of your content, you're confident of the message you're trying to put. So the idea is not to overcome the fear. The idea is to be able to channelize your fear in such a way that you're confident about the content you're presenting and you're confident about the message that's going out there. So I think Toastmasters for me has definitely helped me become more comfortable in the way I speak. When I first joined the club, I remember I used to speak very fast, and AKP sir would keep telling me to sort of speak a little slow because people can't catch what I'm trying to say otherwise. But Toastmasters has helped me speak slower, and even right now I'm not uncomfortable. I am uncomfortable, I am nervous, but that nervousness is driving me to put my best foot forward and to give out the message loud and clear that Toastmasters is a place where you can channelize your fear in the right way, and you can come out as a more confident speaker, irrespective of the fear that you might have when it comes to speaking in front of a crowd. So all the guests in today's meeting, I think you should definitely join and see the communicator in you enhance and become a lot better and a lot more seasoned. So thank you so much. And back to you, Toastmaster Sandeep.
So VP membership, Vice President membership never ceases to grab the opportunity to influence the guests. Thank you, Ankita, for wonderful response. Yes, I agree that here we can channelize our fear or the scary part of us to make us improved version of ourselves. So the next topic is Indian Premier League in cricket and rising cases of COVID in India. How will they affect each other? So this goes to Toastmaster Nakul.
Good evening, Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmaster and guests. Indian Premier League and rising cases of COVID in India, how will they affect each other? So, okay, firstly, the place where I stay right now, that is Chikmagalur, people have no freaking idea what COVID is. Wearing masks. Hello? Yeah. So people wear masks if they see a public servant asking them, okay, to catch hold during the bike and the car. So wearing mask itself is something that is seen as a just like wearing helmet or a seat belt right now. Having COVID cases rising on a day-to-day basis, it's going to be a different scenario now, because people who have lived through the first lockdown, they only know the financial crisis part of it, but they still don't have the awareness of what is the actual effect of COVID pandemic as a lockdown, as a health scenario, until unless they've either had one of their family members admitted or in the they've lost one of a family member. So the awareness has to be very differently in terms of the government, in terms of the media, in terms of how it is. See, if you take for a cigarette, smoking itself, they put a bad print of lung affected and everything. But COVID being even more dangerous, that awareness is still not touched the media and touched anybody else in the general perspective. Having cricket as one of the major following, I personally don't follow, but a lot of my friends see it. Going there and partying over it, the whole background of it is more inactivity rather than just seeing the match. So it's going to become even more chaotic if it is not streamlined and seating arrangements is not done. So sitting and watching in a let's say a stadium is more sweating, more shouting, more spitting, more dirty environment. So the pandemic is going to spread even more faster, considering cricket as a focus. I would say it has to be it has to be planned and rolled out and made probably free on Netflix, even to watch in the houses, and contain it better rather than making public places available for such a activity to take. Back to you, Table Topic Master. Thank you.
Yeah, excellent response, Toastmaster Nakul. One thing I learned about from the speech today, that we can all visit Chikmagalur at least without any fear of COVID. I understand it's a nice place. I have never gone there. So now that we have a member there, so we can visit sometime.
All welcome.
Thank you. The next topic is, this is related to the theme today. And what would you prefer? Fast, focused, flexible attitude or tremendous talent? What would you prefer? Fast, focused, flexible attitude or tremendous talent? So this goes to our Vice President Education, Toastmaster Sai Snehal.
Good evening, everyone. Table Topic Master, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. What would you prefer? Fast, focused, flexible, or tremendous talent? If you have seen in the recent times of these large business corporations, one thing which was very commonly found among all of them was none of them were really flexible. They stuck to a stagnant approach, whether that gave them growth or not. Despite of the changes in the economy or the geographical location which they were operating, they had a similar approach to everywhere they went. That sometimes got them the benefit, sometimes it just didn't work out for them. Then they realized, in spite of having tremendous talent with them, they were not able to put the same into use where it's required. Maybe because they were not flexible or they were not fast approaching towards the situation. Then they slowly started changing their methods, how they approach to different situations. And then they realized that even though you have tremendous talent with you in hand, but if you don't know how to put it across, it is of no use. I'm not saying not having talent will get the job done, but having talent along with fast focus and flexible attitude will get you an approach which no other can apply. Same thing happened with Reliance Industries. They are huge. if you see their impact in Indian and the global economy. But if they're stuck to a stagnant approach or a very tremendous talent, where they couldn't bend what they had to, they wouldn't have been in the same place they are in today. But if you had seen the initial stages of Reliance Industries, the approach was very different. But of late, they've been very flexible towards the economy, trying to integrate e-commerce into their platforms, trying to integrate other platforms which can help them grow. Of the latest trends which are happening, where the e-commerce industries are growing, where everyone just head home and they're ordering with a click of button. This is how you can grow, only by using fast focus and flexible attitude with the talent bending according to the requirements. Thank you, and back to the table topic master.
Thank you, Sai. And this was the topic. I think more or less we agree in the fashion that we need mostly attitude and talent both for the success. I think recently Pravakara sir had shared one video of Harsha Bhogle citing the examples of Sachin Tendulkar and Vinod Kambli, where this attitude and talent were different, used in a different way. So I think we need that attitude to come out of the failures, and talent, if it is there, then as pointed out Sai, it has to be put across in a right way. We'll move to the next topic, and this is one of the quotations recently used in our monthly magazines by Toastmasters International. In racing, they say that your car goes where your eyes go. In racing, they say that your car goes where your eyes go. So can we have Toastmaster Sasi for this topic?
Good evening, table topic master, fellow Toastmaster, and welcome guest. In racing, they say that your car goes where your eyes goes. Yeah, I will definitely agree with that, with a point. Like in a racing, our car, like once we are in a race of something, wherever our eyes goes, so that the way our car goes, like where we are focused towards, there our goal will reach. Like whenever we are focused to, like in a student life, once we are focused to the studying, so we will get a rank. Or else if we are not focused on studying, we will not get a rank. But in the race, that your car goes where your eyes goes, yeah, that is I agree. But in city, it is something different. Our eyes will not go, means where your eyes go, like our eyes will distract once we're riding the car in a city, so it will go everywhere. So we have to stay focused, like a racing, like we are on a racing track. So that's the takeaway from this topic. Back to your table topic master.
Thank you, Sasikant, for a wonderful reply. I think more or less we agree on this topic. That this was cited by our president, Toastmasters International president, where he wanted to say that if you are looking much onto the wall or to the side of the road, then your car will hit on that place. So you should be focused on what you are trying to achieve. So this is an Irish proverb: a good laugh and a long sleep are the two best cures for anything. To prove this statement, I think we have a doctor in our club. I would request Dr. Arundhati to reply on this topic.
Good evening, topic master, fellow Toastmaster, and guests. Laughter is the best medicine, as all of us know. I use this practically in my life. Whenever I am tired, I'm exhausted, or I come across a difficult situation, I try to smile. Laughing is difficult though. Try to smile. All of you may remember that movie of Sanjay Dutt where the doctor uses laughter as whenever he gets blank or whenever he cannot control himself, he laughs and finds out the solution or something like that. And again, sleep. Sleep of 8 hours per day can take away all the problems, and it's important to have a good health, reduce your blood pressure, improve the heart health, improve the longevity. It's very, very important. Good laugh is, it gives another positivity I have seen. See, whenever you go to an office or you go to any place, if there are many uh, people sitting there as a staff, you would like to approach a person with a smile. You would like to approach a person with good temperament. See, that positivity, it is just contagious. It makes you happy, it makes that person happy. So happiness definitely brings good health and it can cure all the diseases. So a good laugh and long sleep, if you are capable of having, it ensures a long, healthy, disease-free life. Back to you, Topic Master.
Thank you, Dr. Arundhati, for replying. I think Iris are not wrong here, and it is approved by our Dr. Arundhati. So we'll move to the next topic. Do the titles of your speeches and presentations really talk? Do the titles of your speeches and presentations really talk? This goes to guest Rajesh, who is a Toastmasters also. Is he available?
No, Sandeep, he has left the meeting.
Okay. So we can ask Amog is there.
Hey Sandeep, yeah. So this topic is for me.
Yes, now I want you to reply on this topic.
Okay. The titles of your speeches and presentations really talk. It's been quite some time I've maybe delivered a speech or been active. I mean, before this as well, I was the president and I was giving speeches based on the themes. But I would like to relate this to some proverb that we have all heard from before. To the titles of the, is it good to judge a book by its cover or the title of the book? More importantly, from what I have read and what I have experienced in life, it's always important to first understand what kind of book it is and understand the gist of the book rather than just going by the title of the book. Because many a times I have seen a lot of books. To give an example, there's a book by one of the billionaires in the world, Richard Branson. He owns the Virgin Airlines, and he has written an autobiography, and he has named it "Just Do It." And I was wondering, what is this "Just Do It"? Is it something related to Nike or some sports book? But he gives a holistic view of his life, what he learned in his childhood, and also how he came up in life by doing different small tasks, which made him what he is today. To give a reference of what this proverb actually means, it's again, do not judge a book by its cover, or do titles and speeches really do titles and names of presentations really give you the gist of what it is? I think in life too, we come across so many people, so many situations where we can just make an impression, or we can just judge just by seeing that situation or a person talk. But we never know what they're going through or what their story is. So to really have an impression or judge a person for who he is, I think we really have to get to know them, talk to them really well, and then make an impression of them. So to say a few words about this topic, this is what I would say.
Thank you, Amog, for your response. And what I meant was when you are writing a speech, or you are giving a presentation, if you are giving a title, it entices, it attracts the audience. Or if you are giving a nice real title, challenging or very, what you say, people get curious about the title. So it is for that. We'll move on to the next topic. We should always speak what would please the person from whom we expect a favor. We should always speak what would please the person from whom we expect a favor. I think, can we have guest Saranya to respond on this topic?
I don't think she's there.
So then we can have Toastmaster Vijay Upendra to respond on the topic.
Thank you, Table Topic Master. Good evening, Toastmasters. Welcome guests. We should always speak what would please the other person from whom we expect a favor. Yes, I really go with this statement by Chanakya. Whenever a work has to be done and the other person is involved in it, unless we take that person into confidence, nothing is going to work. Even the smallest child in the family will say that my teacher is a better person than you. That means the child has got more confidence on teacher than on me. That means teacher always pleases the child. That itself is the indication to understand human behavior, so that whenever we meet people and we expect that person to respond favorably, we need to go and make all the necessary steps so that he is pleased. That means we have to apply human relations principles so that we achieve what we want. Mere asking a person or directing a person in an authoritative manner just because I am in a higher position, definitely the person who is in the lower position, though he says yes, yes in front of me, he will never ever do in the right way that is expected of him. So it is always better to understand many things from the other person's point of view and start a conversation, not in a dictatorial manner, so that we achieve what we want to achieve as a team. Thank you, and back to you, Table Topic Master.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra, for responding. I think this statement, if Chanakya has said or not, but Sai Snehal implements it very, very clearly. So we have the next topic.
Sandeep, sorry to interrupt. I think with the best interest of time, we should stop table topics.
Okay, I think we have covered all the speakers. This was one for the guest. So
yeah, I think you can just give it to one guest. Yes.
We have, I think, Anita Jain. Can we have her to respond on this topic? Anita Jain is not there. So can we stop this?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you all for your responses.
I think Dr.
all of
Mohan,
you.
you can. Dr. Mohan, guest.
I think he was also not in a mood to. Anyway, so this is we are running a sort of time. It is already past 8. So thank you for your responses, and I hand over the stage to Toastmaster Ravi Kumar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sandeep. A big round of applause, please, for Toastmaster Sandeep. Toastmaster Sandeep, the topics were excellent and interesting. The topics inherently had to trigger some thought into the speaker. He had to think little and then had to speak. That was the kind of topics that you gave today. I'm very interested. Toastmasters and guests, we will have exactly 5 minutes break. Now the time now is 8:06 and we will assemble at 8:11. Thank you.
Udanka?
Yes, sir.
Or Saisnair. I could not see the share screen here. What is something wrong with my? They say what did I do wrong? Every day I'm able to see it, but this share screen did not come in my computer at all. What could happen?
Sir, I think you would have just selected the speaker view option, sir.
Speaker view. No, speaker view also that side comes at side. Side by side or whatever you take. Speaker view, if you take also speaker plus screen comes now side by side.
Yes, sir, but there's another option you can select to completely turn off the shared screen.
Where is that option?
So on the top right, you will find something called speaker view, sir. I think you have selected that.
Speaker view. If I take like now, you have taken no speaker view now. Then
now I don't think you'll be able to see because there's no screen shared, sir.
Okay. No, but that screen of deselecting the screen share, I'm not having any icon. I did not see anything. I did not press anything there.
Okay.
Because every day, every week, I can see the screen share. Even I used as a table topic master also. But today, that side by side or whatever you did, I'm not getting the screen in my. I'm not able to see. I can see the message that Sandeep is sharing his screen, but the screen is not seen.
Okay, sir, you must have been minimized the screen share option. When we are sharing screen, usually there'll be a drag option where you can expand or de-expand the screen. Probably you would have minimized the screen.
Okay. Oh, maybe let me try next time. Okay.
Yes, sir. Ravi Kumar, sir, you there?
Can you see it now, sir? Sir, I've shared my screen. Can you see it, sir?
Yeah, but I'm not able to see now. Now, where I have not minimized, I'm just seeing Sai Snail Reddy has started screen sharing, but I'm seeing a blank screen.
Yes, sir. I haven't shared anything. I've just shared a blank screen itself, sir.
No, but has started screen sharing is comes on message, and there is no white screen also. Nothing is there.
I don't think he can see Google. Sir, can you see Google? No?
No. I don't know what has happened. Anyway, today is over. Next week, I think it should be all right. Something has gone wrong.
Ravi Kumar, sir, you're there? He forgot to call out the. Yeah, that's what. I asked him to call before the.
Yeah, before G. Don't do it after.
No. I called him before. I told him to call before break only.
I know, but just keep it before G, not after G.
Yeah. I'll do. As soon as he is back, we'll do it.
Yeah.
We'll start off with the session and then proceed ahead.
Yeah.
Spurti could have called at least your team members, editorial committee. Editorial committee you could have called up.
We have all the 3 members, but except for Prakash sir today.
Ravi Kumar sir.
Yes.
Sir, you forgot to call out Spurti for the newsletter before the break.
Yeah, Haudama. I'll do that.
Yes, sir. Before GE Kardubidi.
ಕರಿತೀನಿ ಹೌದು ನೀವೇನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ನಾ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡೆ ಒಂದ್ ಕಡೆ ಏನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಹೇಳಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿ
Sir, Associate VPPR
ಹಾ
is going to release the newsletter on behalf of the VPPR. Toastmasters Spurti.
ಅಲ್ಲಪ್ಪ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಸಾರಿ ಏನೋ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ
Okay, on behalf of VPPR, Associate VPPR Toastmasters Spurti will be releasing the newsletter for the first half of the term.
Releasing newsletter, is it? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Sorry, Spurti.
No problem, sir.
Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Can we, Sai Snehal, everybody have assembled?
Yes, sir.
Yes? Okay. So, coming back to, as you are all aware, we have completed the training session. We have completed the very interesting table topic session today. And now again, before we move to general evaluation session, I request Associate VP to please release the newsletter. I invite Spurti Raghu to do that.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ravi Kumar sir. A very good evening once again to all my fellow Toastmasters and guests. I feel extremely delighted to release the newsletter for the term January to March of 2021. Our monotonous and busy lives, which led to us thinking of what we have to do next, was the idea behind our theme, Keep Life Simple. My team and I thought of how this whole year has been, and instead of complicating the theme, we thought we're going to keep a simple theme. So hence VPPR and I chose the theme Keep Life Simple. I truly love the response of all our club members, and their perspectives on such a simple topic was really, really good. Before I release the newsletter, I would really like to thank my editorial committee, Toastmaster Ujjwal, Toastmaster Prakash, Toastmaster Vijay Upendra sir, for their effort in this. Thank you so much. Could you please have an applaud for all the editorial committee members? Thank you. Apart from the editorial committee members, I would like to thank Toastmaster Udang, Toastmaster Sai, and my mentor Toastmaster Amok for their continuous support. This was my first time, and Toastmaster Udang and Toastmaster Sai, I would like to thank them again for trusting me and giving me this newsletter towards the end. Thank you so much. Now I would like to release our newsletter for the term January to March 2021. Sai, is the screen Sharing enabled. Sai, has it been?
Yes, it is visible now.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, and back to the MC, Toastmaster Ravi Kumar.
Thank you, Toastmaster Spurti. You did a great job. You thanked everybody, and what was necessary of this releasing this newsletter, I think you did it the way it should have been done. A big round of applause, everybody, to Toastmaster Spurti Raghu, please. So now, as I said, beginning of the meeting, Toastmasters and fellow Toastmasters and guests, that we have completed 2 sessions, the educational session and the table topic session. The third session, I said, is the general evaluation session, which is like a mirror and which will reflect a clear image of our proceedings and the speeches that happened today or the training program happened today. Now, today's general evaluator is a Triple Crown holder, Charter VP Education, past president, and VP Education for 4 terms, VP membership and VP PR 1 term each, past finance manager, Territorial Council of South Asia. Hobbies include music, and he is a disciple of late Pandit Sheshadri Gawai. I have seen this Toastmaster, senior distinguished Toastmasters humorous speeches. He is like a duck taking to water. He can just dive into humor speeches spontaneously and make the crowd laugh and laugh. It comes very naturally to him. I welcome, please give a big round of applause to welcome distinguished Toastmaster M.U. Bhatt, please, to do the general evaluation.
Thank you, Mr. Toastmaster. I think we are racing in this time. We are already, we should have 15 minutes behind the schedule, I think. Anyway, let me get straight into the evaluation mode. The meeting started about 10 minutes late because of some interesting socializing going on in front of the camera. There's no problem about it, but we could have probably met a bit earlier to discuss in more detail. The business session, there was 3 issues. First was VP Education told about the roles available for the next meeting. And there are 2 announcements by the president, one about the hybrid meeting, which is likely to take place. They are looking for the new venue if Mekon is not available. And the third announcement was, the second announcement was about the area contest on the 11th of April. Then the Sergeant-at-Arms took over, started the meeting. Ujjwal, I think one thing good about you is you always bring certain energy to the meeting. Your good evening or this was a special evening, what you said was really powerful. It came out so well. You talked about that book, Agile Business, and dwelling on the theme of fast, focused, and flexible. And you dealt on that, you explained in detail what exactly you was trying to explain in the which is necessary for digital transformation. And what cleverly you did today was in theme to the connecting the theme to the introduction of the president. That was very creative of you, did amazingly well. And only one suggestion I can give you is, I've seen your earlier performance as Sergeant-at-Arms also. One challenge you can always take up in Toastmasters is how to simplify matters. You know, you are particularly you are dwelling on the subject of fast, focused, and flexible, quoting agile business. was slightly above. It was a bit more sophisticated than for an average member. Even I could, at times I could also not find it difficult to relate to it. It was quick and lot of thought provoking. Probably you can simplify it and digest it and bring it into more. That is one skill which I learned in Toastmasters, how to be simple. Speaking simply is a great quality which is to be inculcated. I think this should take it as a challenge to make it simplify whatever you want to say so that it is understood by others. Otherwise, you have done an amazing job as usual. Let's give a round of applause to our Sajid-e-Tams. Then the president took over. There was a reading out of minutes of meeting by Shashikant. Let's give a round of applause to Shashikant for that. Only suggestion I can give to Shashi is you can probably increase your volume level a bit. I think he's not there. He's left or what? I'm not able to see him. So his volume, voice level was a bit lower. Probably you can improve on that. Otherwise, it's good. There was the introduction of guests later. There are 2-3 guests today. And then President took over and opened the meeting and talk on the theme. He related to his own. He started from explaining from the Google example, Google search engine, then how it relates to success in life. And he gave personal examples relating to Toastmasters. Very nicely related to that, how it that all the 3 things of being fast and flexible and focused is important in life, personal life as well as in professional life. And again, he introduced very nicely to the Master of Ceremony. And I will come to Master of Ceremony later. There was only one education session. There was no prepared session. Before I go further, our VP, I think our Udanka has already sent your link to the voting. We can fill up your voting for the best table topic speaker before we proceed. Then there is only one education. There are no prepared speeches. Only education session by Ashish Varghese. He spoke on the theme targeting competencies through pathways. One thing great about Ashish Varghese is I think he's thoroughly competent to take over the subject or talk on the subject because he's done DTM twice. He has done DTM. That too. First one is the fastest period of time, 3.5 years. That is simply amazing. I think second one is did it even faster. I think that is something really great. So he was really fully competent to talk about the subject. And what I really liked about him was he is a person who has come from virtually from ranks, as he himself could put. He had to overcome his problem of stuttering. He was an introvert and he has to convert himself because he was an HR professional. He had to be more outgoing. So all things, how Toastmasters helped him also he brought about. He talked about the 5 competencies like public speaking, interpersonal skills, management, strategic leadership, and developing confidence. He dwelt on that with examples, how it is the Toastmasters is a laboratory where you can do experiments on these skills and learn those skills. Brought beautifully well. And he then dealt about how aligning the different competencies in different paths. There's one thing as he puts it. And he explained, taking one example of presentation mastery, which is, he says, a basic building block for Toastmasters. Everybody can take that. And he explained the 5 levels, how it happens, each level, what happens. And step by step. And he talked about something about high performance leadership, which he not only he did, one of his club members did for a great 3-day event of a women's Toastmasters, bringing together all over the world. The importance of that high performance leadership he brought about very nice. And what I really liked about it was some new aspects which I myself was not aware because I am not very conversant with the pathways. He brought how flexibility is possible in levels. I was not really aware of it. I was thinking that we have to go from 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, find the order. He said, though, it's not like that. But I think I have to check it in my own base camp. Let me see next time how I can do it. It was followed by a question and answer session where some very tricky questions asked by Upendra also on belief and confidence and all that. I feel he has come trumps, the speaker came up trumps in answering reasonably well. I felt that. He has done an amazing job in convincing our Upendra. Upendra always tends to ask some intellectual side of questions. Sometimes it goes above my head, but I try to understand it to the best of my ability. So then Rajesh took some questions about level 5 and about evaluation, which was also answered very nicely. So overall, I felt that your Ashish Varghese, your presentation, on targeting competencies through pathways came out quite well, in my opinion. He has done an amazing job, told about everything about the different competencies, different levels, what are the paths available he brought about, and how it is important that you can select your own path based on your test what you give. Otherwise, you can select on your own interest also, and then develop this, align your different competencies and different paths. Then you talked about different levels. Wonderful job done. In absentia, let's give a big round of applause to, and thanks for coming to all the way to give our presentation to Ashish Varghese. Then there was a table topic session by our veteran Toastmaster Sandeep. And as usual, he has, he has selected varied questions, like, wide collage of questions, I should say. Something about investing. I think I asked, he gave rather easier question to AKP, I thought, AK Prabhakar, I thought, because I should have expected some more complicated issues to be given to you, because he will be a competent person to answer that. Some of the other questions what you asked, like, experience as a stranger, or lying in Toastmasters, which Ankita replied, or about IPL COVID, of course, he's a master anyway, because he's a cricket master himself. And talent versus the team, there was a very, this thing, Sai Snavel was asked, where he answered so nicely. The car going when you are, wherever your eyes go. Shashi answered it quite well, I feel say. And your laugh and sleep was Arundhati. She is a master doctor of amongst us. She answered so effectively. Amog talked about how the titles matter, and and about rightly about speaking to police. As usual, Vijay Upendra answered in a very, very powerful manner. So overall, I felt that to Sandeep, you have done an amazing job as a table topic master. I don't think, and you have brought in your subtle sense of humor in your reactions to the speech. That is your trump card. You always do that each time, using your humor to connect to topics or to comment on somebody's topic. So that is amazingly done. So I don't have any comment on your how you would otherwise done it. Wonderful topics, wonderful responses. For that wonderful job done, let's give a round of applause to our Sandeep Guliar Singh. Then after the break, there was a presentation of by our Spurti, Assistant VPPR. Actually, honestly, I will not be able to comment on her what I saw there, because I could not rectify my mistake of not getting the screen. So I could not see what has happened in screen. Probably at leisure, I will watch it in my computer. But otherwise, I know Spurti, you always do everything so methodically and systematically. And today you are no different. You presented very well. You thanked all the team members on behalf of the VPPR and did an amazing job. Let's give a round of applause and congratulations to Spurti and her team for doing the amazing job. So let us come to the role takers. Let us have the views of Timer Ujjwal. Can you give your report, sir?
Good evening once again. President has taken 7 minutes, 5 seconds. Sorry, I was not able to note down the time taken by subject items. Secretary has taken 1 minute, 29 seconds. Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Ravi Kumar sir, till now has taken 12 minutes. Coming to the educational session, DTM Ashish has taken 36 minutes. Then coming to the table topic session, it has gone up to 35 minutes and 5 speakers have crossed 2 minutes and 4 speakers have crossed 1 minute and no one has gone below 1 minute. Lastly, coming to the general evaluation session, till now the general evaluator has taken 12 minutes. Thank you and back to you, sir.
Thank you, Ujjwal, for that meticulous report. Let us hear from now grammarian Dr. Arundhati.
Good evening once again. First of all, I would like to apologize for being oblivious to certain usages because of highly informative educational session and highly stuffed table topics, I should say. However, the usages I have noted down are like this. Good usages: organizational momentum, taken to the doors, embracing new technology, drain the resources, least judgmental group, idealize the speaker, enamored by technology. Move with economy. Channelize the fear. Not so good usages. Around the Basavangudi should have been around Basavangudi. Can't achieve our success. Can't achieve success. Talk about more. Should have been talk more about. Men, material and money needs attention should have been need attention. Word of the week was used by table topic master.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Arundhati. I think you have gone mute, but you have covered all your whatever you wanted to say, I suppose, because you have covered all the good usages. Only not so good usages, I think you are not. I think if you have got still time, you can tell if you have.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now it's okay.
Not so good usages are around the Basavangudi should have been around Basavangudi. Can't achieve our success should have been can't achieve success. Talk about more should have been talk more about. Men, material and money needs attention should have been need attention. Word of the week was used by table topic master, Toastmaster Sandeep. Thank you. Back to you.
Thank you, madam, for that very elaborate report. Very nicely done. I think the good usages, I think you are largely taken from Ujjwal's speech, I think. Yeah, okay. Then let us listen to the report of our R counter, Upendra, Vijay Upendra. Can I have your report, sir?
Good evening once again. As far as the mentioning of and crush words, repeated words, etc., Udanka 1 and VV twice, I quietly twice, and Ravikumar 4 R's. He repeated the twice. Sai Snehal 3 R's. Rajesh M 1 R. Sandeep 4 R's. Spurti 2 R's. Ankita 3 R's. Nakul 2 R's. Shashi, he repeated if twice. Amok 6 R's. DTM MU but 2 R's till now. Thank you and back to you.
Thank you, Vijay Upendra. Let's finally have the report from our parliamentary procedure evaluator, Sai Snehal. Sai Snehal, your report, sir.
Good evening, everyone. The meeting went on very smooth. There was no talk about sex, religion, or politics. Everyone was muted at all times. And people who, members who have left the meeting have also left a message keeping us aware. And I'm choosing to ignore the network glitches, which is not in our hands. But apart from that, the meeting went on really smooth. Thank you, and back to General Evaluator, DTM MU Balso.
Thank you, Sai Snehal. I think I entirely agree with you. There were some audio glitches, and of course, some man-made like mine. I could not see screen share because of my own fault, I think. But that is a different matter. But all our role takers, our counter, timer, grammarian, and parliamentary procedure evaluator, they've explained their role so nicely, given their comprehensive report on the job, what they have to do. Wonderful job done. Let's all give a good round of applause to the role takers. Finally, coming to the master of ceremony, Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. Ravi Kumar, you, as usual, do a lot of homework. You have done a wonderful job as a Toastmaster. One thing what I really liked today about your Toastmaster's role was your speech on the subject, your theme itself. So I know that is one thing which you're the one person who has talked technically about that importance of that fast and focused and your flexibility in business and personal life. You brought about so nicely importance of that. What is for being fast, what is being focused, what is being flexible. So brought out so nicely. And what is that you connected to the Ralph C. Smedley creatively. That is another job well done by you as a Toastmaster. And another thing what I should give kudos to you is, when Arundhati's your mic failed in between, you immediately took over and explained what is left out on the grammarian's role. That was something really good, very timely and very creative and did a nice job. That's one thing. And your introductions were also apt, except I've got one suggestion regarding your introduction. You know, particularly when we talk about education session, generally for all sessions, particularly for education sessions, when you introduce the speaker, there are 4 things which are always covered in an introduction. One thing is, what is the speech about? And who is the why is the speech, particular speech? You know, today was the speech about targeting competencies through this. So you could always tell competence, the theme subject is this, and why this is so important for us to listen to that. You know, that creates interest. Third is, who is the speaker? In this case, Ashish Varghese. And why is the speaker? You know, why he is the most competent to talk about that. That if you bring it, then the audience will be really enthused to listen to that person. Yes, this subject is so important to us. This matter is so important. And if the speaker is the right person to talk about it, let me listen to it. So that is the kind of introduction we built into that. That is what the Toastmasters also calls. Speech, title of the speech, why that speech, who is the speaker, and why the speaker. These 4 things if you bring about, introduction can be complete. So that's how it, but there's only one suggestion I can give you. Otherwise, your, and even our, I felt that your Sandeep's introductions also could have been more effusive, I thought, because that is what he deserves as one of our veteran Toastmasters of ours. It could have been built up a bit more strongly, I felt. Otherwise, you do your job always very, very meticulously. Wonderful that today was no different. Particularly, you give a lot of value into the theme of that. You built in that, you go research, and then you today what you have done. An amazing job done. Let's give a great round of applause to our Toastmaster Ravi Kumar. Overall, we had a wonderful session in spite of some technical glitches. Very, very informative education session. And what is more, very, nice or creative kind of table topic session. The responses are so nice, which I really, really enjoyed today. And thanks to our table topic master for the selection of right topics. Wonderful job done. So with that, let me hand over back to the master of ceremony.
Thank you, TTM Imbubet, sir. Thank you very much. Thanks for very insightful and holding a mirror, which you do very precisely. Thank you very much. Now, with this, I thank all the role takers and speakers. I hand over the chance to our president, Udanka.
Thank you, sir, for that lovely netpicking of the meeting, and I thank VP Education Toastmaster Sai for organizing such a wonderful, informative educational session. And coming to the results, before I announce the results, I request all the members to take a couple of minutes of your time and go give the feedback to all the role takers, speakers stay in the base camp. Please don't forget it, because feedbacks is what improves us the most. So with that, coming to the winners of the week, there is as there was no prepared speeches, there is no best speaker award and the evaluate award. We have a tie between the best table topic speaker, and the first award goes to the veteran Toastmaster who gave us the insight about how as a teenager we should grow up, DTM AK Prabhakara. And the second table topic award goes to VP Education Toastmaster Sai Snehal. Congratulations to the winners. With that note, I end meeting number 1104. I request everyone to stay back for a group photo.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all.
So thank you, everybody. Sai, thank you.
Thank you, sir. It was really nice MC after a while, sir.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Really appreciate it.
And
Thank you, Amitabh. The evaluation was good.